He's the Chargers head coach. The 2-1 Chargers, fresh off the win against the Kansas City Chiefs. Brandon Staley back on the program. Coach, congratulations. Did you watch Monday Night Football?
I took a peek at it. Not very much of it, but took a peek at it.
But if that's AFC games, AFC teams, would you be more apt to be watching them?
I kind of believe in the power of focus. I have a difficult time game planning while a ball game's going on. So one of my best friends is the D coordinator for Philly. So I was taking a peek at it just for a second. And, we played Dallas. So kind of wanted to see how that team looked. And so I took a peek at it, but I'm not big during the game planning process of doing two things at once.
Okay, you just played Dallas. Dallas picks up the win. What is it that you saw with Dallas? Like, what impressed you?
Well, I played them the year before when I was with the Rams, and I know that when we played them that first game of the 2020 season, I just felt like it was a really complete offense because they have a $40 million quarterback who's outstanding. They have a line, with two really all-decade type players in Zach Martin and Tyron Smith. And then you talk about their runners and their receivers. I mean, you got Zeke, Pollard, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and I'm a big fan of Jarwin and Schultz. I think they're a really complete offense, and that's what I saw this year. And I felt like, we hung tough versus them this year with the Chargers, and I felt like gave ourselves a chance against that team. They're a really difficult team to defend, and I felt like holding them to 20. We were proud of that. We can certainly play better for sure. But that's it's a really complete offense, and you're seeing it with the way they score the ball, balance, run in the pass game, and they've got a quarterback that can make a lot happen. So they're a tough cover for sure.
Patrick Mahomes was held to less than 6 yards per attempt against the Chargers. That's the third lowest yards per attempt in a single game in his career. What did you make him do that he didn't want to do?
I think that was certainly the storyline in the game for me defensively, is we wanted to put a roof over the coverages. They're a knockout team, and they normally knock you out early, and they do it in the deep part of the field.
Now, when you say roof over the coverage, layman's terms.
Yeah, meaning you're not going deep against us, and we're going to be aware. We're going to catch you when you're running deep. We're going to have people waiting on you in a lot of different ways. What we try to do is have a variety of coverage systems that collect people in the deep part of the field. And when you have all those guys who can get deep, like they have with Tyreek and Kelsey and Hardman, Pringle, all those guys can get deep. So, and they got a quarterback that can hit you deep. Okay. And a lot of times it's outside the rhythm and timing of the play. And so to defend them, Dan, in the passing game, you have to have your pass rush and your pass coverage connected. And that's what I was most proud of in the game, because, this guy's a truly unique player, and he's playing with some unique players. So it takes a team effort on defense, and I felt like we played the way we needed to on Sunday.
What's more important, if I said you had to pick offense or defense going into a game with Kansas City, is it more important that your offense is great or your defense is great, if you had to pick one of the two?
If you have to pick one, Dan, it's your offense, because historically this guy doesn't get held under 24 points very much. That's what the data tells you, is that he's going to score. And so I think, it's like defending Golden State. You can't just expect this to be an old school Eastern Conference final, New York Knicks, Chicago Bulls, 83-79 slugfest. It's not going to be played that way. You have to be able to score the ball. And I felt like that's what gave us a chance in the game, was we were 4 out of 5 touchdowns in the red area. You got to be of that mindset to score the football. And so we're fortunate that we also have a complete offense, led by a tremendous quarterback, and we've got really good skill players, and our offensive line is really coming together. So when you play against that team, you got to be able to score.
If somebody hadn't seen Justin Herbert play, how would you describe that?
I think he makes playing quarterback look effortless. I think that there's a lot that the way he plays, where he's just really, really smooth, where you don't even realize what's, unfolding before your eyes. Like some of the throws that he's able to make, some of the plays he's able to make, he really makes it look easy. He's just a really smooth player. Like just his stroke, like the way he throws the football, it's such an effortless stroke. It doesn't look like he's straining. He had this throw against the Cowboys. It's a field hash. kind of two deep zone beater. Hey, I'm going to keep my eyes in the middle, and then I'm going to unpack really like a 60+ yard throw on the sideline to Keenan, and just the velocity of that throw is just really unique. The way he can play the game, and I think the other thing, Dan, about him is he's really instinctive for the position. He plays the game with tremendous instincts on game day. Like, he is truly at his best on game day because he can see the field. He can see the field. He can feel the rush, and he's got those instincts where he's making the right decision a lot of the time, and that's really special. And then he's just one of the guys too. Like, if you see the way his teammates play around him, I think you can tell a lot about a quarterback by how his teammates respond to him on both sides of the ball. And if you look at that game on Sunday, the way our team feels about him, I think tells you a lot of who he is as a person and as a competitor.
Do you sometimes forget that he's played 20-some games in his career? Like that he's a kid out there.
He can make you feel that way, for sure. He can make you feel like you're around a much wiser, older player, with how he is able to absorb and process and then apply. He just has that capacity. I like that word. Like, he has that capacity. But at the same time, you do realize that he's at the beginning, and myself and Joe Lombardi, Shane Day, we're trying to dive into his game all the time because there's so many areas where he can improve. And what's exciting is that he loves to improve. He loves the work. He loves that process to improve. And, we're still at the beginning with him, but I know that on Sunday, he was a big reason why we won that game.
He's Brandon Staley, the Chargers head coach. They got the Raiders on Monday night, and coach, of course, went to the University of Dayton. Started 2 years, I believe, at quarterback, going 16-5. Is that right? Do you think is that your one-loss record, Coach?
16-5. I remember all 5 losses. That's for sure.
Okay, but do you ever sit down with Justin Herbert and you both reminisce about your college days? Like, you tell him, this is what I used to do at the University of Dayton?
I don't go back to my quarterbacking days too often. Okay. I'm a lot more impressed by his quarterbacking status, and we try to keep that the main focus. And I definitely wouldn't want him to create any bad habits by watching my game tape.
Okay, but what if I had a head coaching quarterback challenge? Who would be the best head coach?
Well, I think I take Justin and I. I take Justin and I to the game versus anybody.
I mean, just the head coaches. It's just you versus.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant quarterback head coach competition.
Cliff Kingsbury, Frank Reich.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about you're talking about some pretty impressive names there. I don't know if I would be able to take. I certainly got confidence in myself. I think it would depend on the competition for sure. But
you got to be better than Gruden, right?
I think that's safe to say.
Wait, that's bulletin board material here for this Monday night game.
No, definitely not. No, I was a freshman in college when they won the Super Bowl, and he came to speak at UD. He was doing his book tour, so he's certainly accomplished a lot more as an NFL coach than I am.
What were you doing 5 years ago this weekend?
5 years ago, I was at Carroll. We were. I think we just.
So John Carroll, outside of Cleveland.
Yep.
Yeah, and you played Heidelberg.
Yeah, and that was listen. Before I got to Carroll, they got absolutely smoked by this team. This kind of was like a rugged, tough. Really have a lot of respect for this football team. They've had a lot of NFL guys come out of there, and I think they lost like 42-14 the year before Tommy and I got there, and that was a rivalry that we really had to turn around, and they always played us tough, and that was a big game. And that 2016 season, kind of our best season, that magical season that we had, and we had a good game plan. They had a really good runner and really good receiver who ended up going to the NFL, Dante Dye. So we ended up kind of taking him out of the game, and so that's what I was doing 5 years ago.
That's amazing. Now, did Coach Shula go to John Carroll?
Yeah, Coach Shula is the most famous Carroll alum.
But then you add, Dayton had John Gruden, Jerry Faust, Chuck Noll.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Coach Noll. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know how many schools have head coaches who won a Super Bowl, and Dayton's got 2, and then you'll be the 3rd.
Well, you're too kind. Well, I coached with, the guy that brought me into the NFL is John Fox, and Foxy means so much to me. I certainly wouldn't be here without him. And he coached for Chuck Noll. And he's one of those guys that, man, I wish I could have met him, because just the stories that people have about him and how he led that football team, and just a lot of the coaches that have kind of come out of there, Tony Dungy and all these amazing coaches. Like, I'm a proud UD. I'm proud to share that UD alumni with Coach Nolan and John, for sure.
Great to talk to you again, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Good luck Monday night against John Gruden and company.
Thanks a lot, Dan. Have a great day.
Brandon Staley. What I saw, what's interesting with the Chargers, they were aggressive. They were aggressive late in the game. They went for it on 4th and 9. And you have to do that with Kansas City.